when we export the web file, when we export the file from Eclipse, say here from new var, and you export it, the file gets created. The file gets created, and if you put the file into Office web apps folder of your Tomcat and start your application, then the application starts running.
So that means the deployment took place when we start the Tomcat server.
Yeah, deployment is will be done when you place that into Tomcat folder. There must be some.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so in my case, I think I should be changing some parameters. It says it is running. Where it is listening? 8081. You got it right. And actually, that's when you actually tend to use your Tomcat administration to reload your application. Okay, that's more of administration purpose. Tomcat administration is a different aspect. Development, Java application development is different. So I gave that information how to log in, how to configure, just for the sake of, having some fair understanding about Tomcat. And let's see here, application is running. See, I did nothing from the Eclipse. This is purely from a Tomcat
Yes.
perspective.
Yes.
What is happening? This guy is getting exception. No suitable driver found. This is interesting. Here also I'm getting, but it is running sometimes. It is failing sometimes. And okay. Hey Jimmy, when you check in your code, don't check in the that class path file. Jimmy,
Okay, sorry.
yeah, don't check in the
Yeah,
class path file. Just have your own files, and even my file will be there, but still that will have wrong path, because my whatever path I have, that will be specific to me only. But still, okay, fine. So today, what I want to introduce you to is to the world of JSPs. JSP stands for Java Server Pages. One thing that I did not really explain you to detail was that how we generate HTML output from a servlet. I did discuss about that, but I did not actually make you do too much of it. How we really generate, the output is that here I did a forward, everywhere I did some forward kind of thing, and say suppose in the home. Okay, let me do that here. Okay, what I'll do is, now we have the writer with us. Okay, So Manasmita has joined. Fine. So writer dot append. Okay. I say we can generate the HTML file here. We content HTML content here. HTML head head. Okay. Satellite close head. Let me put another line. Body say H2 or H1. Body. I hope you are able to follow me. What I am trying to do, it is writing HTML, generating HTML output from a servlet, and I actually hate this because I think everyone will hate it because you need to hand code everything, and any mistake you do will land up, debugging will be difficult. Fine, let's try this out, and I think I did close the other application. Yes, fine. So here it goes. Let me run this. Let me run this. What? It says my servlet is not there. Jimmy, you removed my servlet. Now you are understanding it, I think, right, Jimmy? the significance of the web.xml, that the servlet should be configured there, and say if the servlets are not configured properly, it will not work at all. You'll get these errors. What happened? Slash login. It looks fine. Let me redo this. Yeah. See here, this is HTML output, and you can clearly see. And why the HTML from servlet? Did I write this? See the mistake? I somehow surprised to see this output. What mistake I did? I don't understand why this element is coming here. See, my intention was come on, office web login.html. See here, I have login form on the top, right? The heading on the of the browser, login form Mozilla Firefox, and I wanted this to go there and sit there. Oh, okay, okay. So I think I
Should be at the title tag.
yeah, it should be title. I got it. It should be the title. These things you need to fix manually. Now I have head, and within the head, I need to have title. I think it needs to reload the application, but fail to unregister. The driver has been forcibly unregistered. Okay. Uh-huh. Actually, the application will get reloaded automatically, but somehow in my case there is some problem with the JDBC driver. It's not able to unregister, register something. My heading, yeah, it works now. HTML from the servlet. I could pretty much try that here. Yeah, here also it works. So now let's go back and look at this particular thing. Writing HTML, however simple HTML you need to write, it looks little difficult. See what I missed? I need to hand code everything, and it is possible that you do mistakes, and if something does not work, you need to be really a techie in terms of you need to know every minute detail about why it is not working. So this is a complex thing. Generating HTML output from servlets does not look that great, because in real life pages, the pages are too complex. The search, if I look at any page, say suppose yahoo.com, and if I view the code of this particular page, view page source, see here, it is such a big file, and generating this kind of output from a servlet, it takes a lot of time. So, and if I have difficulty in writing a simple HTML file having a very minimal lines, if I am bothered about is this everything in one single line, but yeah, it starts here and it ends here. Okay, so the best approach, there is a problem with this kind of approach. Okay, so that is the reason Sun actually has come up with Java server pages. That's a different let me revert my changes. So the old one works now. So the approach is that Java server pages is a mix of HTML and JSP. Mix of HTML and JSP. Okay, so here what you do is you write your regular HTML file, you rename the file as home.jsp. The file name is home.jsp, and in the middle I can write wherever I want to write. I can write a server side code. You could see here, we did this earlier, but now we'll focus on this a little bit more. How I can write the Java code is put less than percentile, and let me redo this. Say, put less than percentile, and you assume that this is your servlet code. You keep writing your code and it works. Okay, and there are three ways you can write this dynamic code. This is called the way we're writing some Java code. I mean, this is already there. See here, the cookies part. This is called snippets, meaning I'm writing a Java snippet. Okay, scriptlet, sorry, snippet, or you can call it scriptlet. Scriptlet. The word is script. Yeah, JSP scriptlet. I think it's a single word, but not a English word such as technical word. So what we do is you put a less than percentile and close with the percentile greater than. You write your Java code there. This is called scriptlet. And say there is one more thing. There's something called expression. Now there is this particular thing expression means actually this. Let me put a comment as well. What we do is you say less than percentile equal to and just one single statement that will give you some value. Okay, in this case I write multiple lines that pretty much like a Java code. Every line is terminated by a semicolon. Now in the JSP expression you put one expression here, and just to say that opening in a separate tag, closing in a separate tag, this part you can avoid. I can put that pretty much into one single line, and just start with less than percentile equal to, and you don't need even semicolon. This is called expression. There is one more. And there's one more thing. This is called JSP declaration, meaning I just want to declare a variable. Okay, and say now suppose I want to use that variable somewhere in my other snippets. See, I can use that in other places, in the other scriptlet. Now, I can declare some variables using this declaration. The declaration syntax is less than percentile exclamatory mark int id equal to 10. Okay. Again, here it looks like, a simple, this is one single line. And the scriptlet is also, sorry, the expression is also single line. And do you really need to use the expression and declaration? Can't I do with, scriptlet always? Yes, you can always do it. There's no problem that, you don't need to declare that somewhere. I mean, instead of this ID, instead of this line, I can pretty much, I can write, say, another place, something called, sorry, oops, what is happening? So I can start a fresh expression, fresh scriptlet, and I can say string name equal to name dot, sorry, name equal to request dot get parameter username. So the scriptlet is over now. So what I can do is our dot print, and I can say username is, before that let me do a break as well. Username is name. Okay. Now, okay, I think I did close the servlet. Excellent. See here. Now the cookies part was there till yesterday, right? So what I did was, I added something called the time now is, see, it printed the time, and after the time the JSP variable declared, I need to do a break so that it comes in a, here you put a BR, so that that comes in the next line. Okay. See here, JSP variable ID declared and some JSP scriptlet output. ID value, see here, ID value is 10 and username is Hari. I am able to see the output, and here what I explained to you is how JSP, and what is the problem with this? Invalid character used in string. This is it is pretty much fine. What is the problem? See, sometimes you get warnings and invalid location of. This is pretty much fine. Eclipse is a bit confused, I guess, because it's working and that there is no. I don't see any problem there. Yeah, it's pretty much working. But then Eclipse is showing some warning here. It's it's not able to figure out why. I mean, it's saying something, but I don't think that is valid. So JSP is, just to summarize, JSP is Java server page, and it is actually like, the JSP is introduced to avoid the issues that come with servlet. To avoid the issues that come with servlet, wherein servlet is primarily to implement the logic, and JSP is to take care of the presentation. Meaning, you put all the static information. Generally HTML is what? Static, right? You type whatever and that goes there. That is shown in the browser. Now, if you want to make your pages dynamic, what you need to do is you need to use dynamic code. That is what we are doing here. See, this is, this one is what? This I did, a couple of days before. And in the JSP terms, what is this? This line. I told you three different words: scriptlet, uh, declaration, and expression. And what is this? I told you three things. Scriptlet means
Expression.
this is expression. You said expression, right? Sorry, Jimmy, what did you say?
Expression.
Expression, yes. This is expression. Wherever you see less than percentile equal to, that is expression. Okay, less than percentile exclamatory mark, that means declaration. Okay, and yeah, and the scriptlet, you have few more. See here, a few more expressions, and then goes your scriptlet, and then there's also scriptlet. This is declaration, and this is a scriptlet. I'm sorry, this is actually expression. This is expression. This is declaration. This is scriptlet. Okay, so you need to know that. Okay, you can write some code like this, and there is something more than this on the top. You see here, there's some different directives. You put less than percentile and click. See here on the top, there is something called, there are three different things. One is page directives. Page directives, you have some parameters here. Okay, I'll explain that, the imports. Suppose in Java code, if I need to use some of the other classes, I do import, right? So how do I import Java classes now in the JSP? Because that will be a problem. That is your requirement. Say I wrote some logic in some Java class. I want to call that Java class in the JSP page. In that case, I can say pretty much, I can say import and equal to, I can do like this. I think you can java dot util dot, yeah, I can pretty much, if I need say array list, I can do like this, do a comma separated imports, and it works. Okay, so at the rate page directive I'm explaining, and then there is something called include. Okay, include file. This you can use anywhere in the in your stuff. What I'll say is say suppose include file header.jsp. You can to include another file. Okay, and there is no file called header.jsp. So let me create that. Okay, and I'm including this. So what I could do is I can pretty much do some styles as well. What I will do is h1 dot What is the name I gave? My header. H1. I'll discuss that as well. My header. Okay. Color red. Say, let me see if this works. Okay. So let me refresh this. This is the header is there, but my colors did not come there. My colors did not come there. And why? And why? P class. Okay. Welcome to web. This is coming. Paragraph class is working fine. My style, color red. I did the same thing. Let me do this. My headers. Yeah. Okay. So now my intention is, don't worry about these colors. That is my next topic. What I'm trying to do is that, see, the focus now here is I created something called header.jsp. Okay. And I'm including that in this particular page. So, or I can put even below this, and go there and refresh the output. See here, hello, this is the header. Okay. So the point I'm making is that, there is this particular tag less than percentile at the rate include is used to include another other output from other files. This is available only. This is available, in a JSP, and I mean basically you want to include the output of another JSP. So that is when you use include statement. So at the rate page we looked at it, and at the rate the page directives, if we have to look at it, there is one more that is called tag library. I'll discuss about that a little later. Okay, may not today, maybe tomorrow or day after I'll discuss. Okay, so far what we have looked at is that what is the JSP and how many ways you write code in JSP. It is actually simple. It is actually simple because it takes off lot of headache of servlets. I mean, if in servlet, let's look at this code. We try to write that particular code HTML, all the HTML elements, and I did a mistake in writing the title part. However simple this snippet was, still I did a mistake, and then I needed to rethink, okay, why the title is not coming properly. Then we discovered the title element is missing. I should have added title element. So for even for simple thing, if I need to rethink, but the same thing, let's look at it. This I wrote this much of code. There is some dynamic code, and it did not go wrong. Other than the style part, styles are different thing. Then, I mean, it was very easy for me to write the output. Okay, and but the funda is that the JSP is only for the developer friendly stuff. And at the end of the day, when you deploy your application, that gets converted into a servlet. I'll show you how. See, let me look at this particular thing. The oops, oops, oops. Must have been there. Okay. Temp. No. Maybe because the server is not running. Let me close this server and start this server. And Let me look at this. Localhost. See here, the work folder in the Tomcat directory. See, I have this work folder that gets. I mean, there are a lot of file that get generated when you deploy. There are a lot of files that get generated, and at least let me see. Actually, like your JSPs get converted into. Yeah, see here, the sample has. So this guy, I mean, he gave some the JSPs get converted into Java classes. See here, 401. I mean, this is not our stuff, but I'm just explaining that they get converted into a servlet. See here, the JSP file. This guy had something called 401.jsp, and that get converted into underscore the file name underscore the you had file name. If file name is 401.jsp, then that the generated servlet is underscore file name underscore JSP, and that becomes your Java class name. Now this becomes like a servlet, okay? And we saw that this is a JSP lifecycle. Please try to understand my whatever I'm explaining. And before that, let me go back to our servlet stuff. So the JSP lifecycle is what? You have some init method, right? And then you have do get and do post methods, and then optionally you can even have destroy method. So destroy and init method gets called only once in the lifecycle, and do get do post methods will be called a number of times until the servlet is in the memory. Similarly, in case of a JSP, now we understood the logic with the file name, how Java class file name generates this is a servlet. I mean, if we really look at HTTP JSP base, you go top of it. I mean, the extended set of classes, but such as this is a servlet code. Now here, what happens is there is a method called underscore JSP init. Underscore JSP init. Underscore JSP init is the init method in case if you compare this with the servlet. Okay. And now there is something called underscore JSP destroy. This is for the unloading part. When the server is receiving no more requests to this particular JSP, and it want to clean up some memory, it can unload it by calling JSP destroy, and then it will remove it from the memory. Or when you are shutting down your application, it is supposed to call this JSP destroy. Now these two things will be called only once. JSP init once and JSP destroy once. But then as long as JSP is in the memory, the underscore JSP service is the one that gets called every time. Okay. And let's try to see what happens to our files. Okay, I need to do this 8081. Port number is different. 8081 slash. Now let me say login.html, and there's some problem with the MySQL connector, so this is not working. But ideally what happens is when you build your application, now when application is running first time each JSP is compiled and into a servlet, the way we have seen. Because of the issue that there is some issue with the JDBC connection in the application. That is the reason it's not actually like coming up there. But otherwise if it will be something like this, org apache JSP, and then your files get generated there. Okay, so JSP init underscore JSP destroy underscore JSP service. These are the service methods. These are the lifecycle methods for a JSP. First time when your JSP is really asked for, if I say home.jsp, I mean either directly or indirectly, if the first time when the JSP is invoked, it gets compiled into Java class, that is to servlet, and that has some life cycle. First time it gets, the JSP init will be called once, and for every subsequent page request, underscore JSP service gets called. Underscore JSP service gets called. And see here the funny part, if you really pay attention to this output, I did not explain this output, I show you this output before, but now see that beautiful part is that this guy takes care of the headache of writing the output. See here, whatever you write in the JSP, now the standard HTML, and this guy will write, out dot write, see there are so many statements. Automatically the web server will, Tomcat will generate this output for you. And so at the end of the day, this becomes a servlet. JSP becomes a servlet, and your servlet code is written by your container. But for you, I mean, you need to just understand that JSP is no magic, but it is just, it is just the particular, I mean, it is for the benefit of the developer. It is for the benefit of the developer. So that is a brief introduction about JSP file. And okay, let me answer your the query related to style. Jimmy, you should always put your styles folder. You should always put your styles folder into everything into web content only. Okay, and then you can add and my styles are really stupid, but I'll not pay much attention to it. You learn, you explore on your own. But I'll explain how to do it. The W3 schools is the best place where you can learn. I just placed my CSS from the home.jsp into site.css. That is in the styles folder. Or I would rename this as CSS itself. Okay. I'll rename this as a CSS. And now in the home.jsp, and in the head, what I will do is so I can pretty much link the CSS file right here. Import. Now I think what is the syntax for it? One sec. Let me go back and refer to my files. I really have problem in this. Let's say common.jsp. Yeah, this is how we do it. Control C. So where is my file? I use this syntax link. We call this as a linking CSS. Okay, it looks fine. So I have css.site.css, and let me refresh. I must get the same output. And if I'm not getting the same output, what does it mean? My server is not running. My server is not running, and this guy at least should show me error. Interesting. He doesn't even care to show me error. So I'll just check in that this part. I'm actually running late, so we will continue this from tomorrow. But Jimmy, I think I answered your question. You should put your files into this particular thing, web content folder itself, and yeah, and refer it using this link. This W3 schools also will give you the same syntax. Okay. Fine. Please, please go back and do this whatever we are discussing. Please do the samples, and Come back to me with questions.